When I was younger, in my early 20s, I found myself in a position I had to defend myself. It was a person that was almost twice my size and ended up taking me to the ground and getting what we call nowadays mount, and started strangling me. And I knew at that point I was in serious trouble. It was probably about 6 months later I started taking martial arts. At that time in my life, I made a vow that if something were to ever happen again, I would be ready. And now I do find myself in a unique position to where I train other people to be ready for the unexpected. I'm Master Rick. I'm the one that has created this place. I have a total of over 40 years of martial arts experience in various styles. I started training in 1983 and received my first degree black belt in 1988. After that, I moved to Virginia in 1990 and did various styles around here. I take those various styles, combine them together, made a curriculum, and try to help people face whatever they may have to face in the world today. And then in the early 2000s, I actually built a shed in my backyard and started training a group of about 10 young men. They had a blast, they needed an outlet, and they learned something they never thought they would have a chance to learn.
I'm known as Sensei Katrina here at American Colleges of Jiu-Jitsu and Karate. I also am pretty much in charge of the after-school care program, keeping everybody going with doing the routes, picking up kids from school who's coming each day. And then I also teach a women's self-defense seminar regularly, and that's just for women wanting to learn how to be aware of their surroundings and take care of themselves. So I got into martial arts when Rick started training in our backyard, and my nieces wanted to train as well, and so he had a class for us girls. I started that journey because I had been scared in our home, thought there was an intruder, and it really shook me up, and I decided I wanted to know how to do something to defend myself. At the time we had a carpet and upholstery cleaning business that was successful, that we'd had for 16 years. I asked Rick, well, what would your dream job be? And he's like, I would love to teach martial arts for a living. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. And then that began the journey of us looking for a place, like right away. And we had a mentor that had done this before with an after-school care program. So he helped us out. I became serious about getting my black belt, and that became training 4 nights a week during that time until I received my black belt.
In 2006, when we opened this school, I had a big heart and wanted to really make this work. So we opened the doors, and the first year we had 5 after-school students and only a few evening kids. So I spent my entire day from 7:30 a.m. until 2 o'clock p.m. working another job to make money so we could keep the doors open here. In our second year of business, we started doing a little bit better, and by year 3, we didn't look back after. Now our current day numbers, they've grown a little bit. In our after-school program, we average generally between 45 and 50 kids. In the evening, we run generally about 40 plus kids. And as far as adults go, probably somewhere between 20 and 25.
Rick and I were never able to have any children of our own, and so these kids have become our kids, and it's been exciting to watch them grow up. We've been here long enough that some of these are getting married, they're getting their masters in college, and we had them when they were 6 and 7 years old.
Hello, I'm Zach Hall. The kids here call me Mr. Zach. I've been working here a total of really about 6.5 years. You're always dealing with different dynamics with different types of kids, and we have kids ages 5 all the way up to 12, 13 years old, and so you're going to get a very different dynamic depending on the age and how they all might play together or how they might work together. For one, martial arts is very physical. I do find that when you're able to do something that's really active, and when you have that structure, they're able to learn respect. I've seen a lot of kids really change, but it takes time. It's not one of those things that just happens overnight. Martial arts provides a challenge for these kids. It provides those goals and a place to get to. And when they test and they get a belt, they've achieved something. They know they've earned that because they've put in the work, they've put in the time. And I think that makes a huge difference for a lot of these kids.
Hi, I'm Michaela. I work at American Colleges of Jiu-Jitsu and Karate. I'm a brown belt, and I've been training here for 5 years, ever since I was 12 years old. I've been working here for about 2 or 3 years, and I love this place. When I started, my parents wanted me to have the tools to be able to defend myself on the street because they protected me for most of my life, and they wanted to give me the tools to protect myself. I was about 10 years old. I did figure skating, and I got to the place where I didn't like that. I only did it for 2 years. When I started here, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna stick to this. I really wanna stick to this. And it has really helped. They've helped me grow so much into the person that I am today.
I consider American Colleges of Jiu-Jitsu and Karate to be a self-defense school. The majority of our training is focused on self-defense. We will take any type of imaginable attack and attack each other with it. And with that, you learn to block, strike, kick, submit. That is the philosophy here in our school. And if it's done enough times, you learn to have a reflex action. You see something coming at you, you've seen it already 1,000 times. You learn to have what we call a reflex action. If you fail to have a reflex action when you are attacked on the street, generally it's too late. In our after-school program, we do martial arts 3 days a week. We do fun and games 2 days a week. I don't want to do martial arts 5 days a week because I don't want kids to get burned out on doing martial arts. So the other 2 days a week, we have what we call our fun days. And that includes games like Ninja Warriors, which is learning about stances and pushing each other off a mat, the sock game. And that's where you put a sock on the back of your belt and you have to protect your sock while you're trying to pull everybody else's sock off. If you're not aware of what is happening around you, you're not going to be in the game very long. The games that we play, they're not just for fun and games. I try to teach all of my students to be aware of where they are at all times. So these games help prepare students for everyday situations, just to be aware of what's happening in life.
What really sets American Colleges of Jiu-Jitsu and Karate apart is that you have everybody in the same room all at once. And I think it helps those that are just starting to learn faster when everybody's in one group. And also, this is the family of the bear, and I feel so much that if it's the kids class or the adult class or whatever class, it feels like a family.
They've become our children, and we're the family of the bear. And so they call him Papa Bear, and I'm the Mama Bear. And then these are all of our cubs that we have in our hearts every day.
And I hope for the future to continue that for the next generation and pass down where respect is earned, learned, and given that we offer here in this school.
Years ago, my master paid me a huge compliment, and I didn't realize it until years later how it would affect me and what we do here. All of the classes that I taught when I first became a black belt were full. All the students would come in the nights that I was teaching, and he took me aside one night and he said, "Rick, do you understand why all these people are here?" And I said, "No, sir." And he said, "It's because of you. You teach from the heart. They know that you want them to learn, and that's why they're here. And I'll make this promise to you, if you try our school, I will do everything in my power to help you to learn, to walk without fear."